More than 200 years ago, Cura Miguel Hidalgo made the cry of Flores near Guanajuato. This is important historical event changed the course of the new Spain that now today we know as Mexico. I'm Modesto Flores and this is Crash Course Mexico.
For more than 300 years, Spain had totally controlled the new territory in the Americas, and it was the cry of Dolores, the one which started all in the year 1810.
During the period of 1811 to 1812, when the revolutionaries defeated the insurgents, at the same time Hidalgo, Allende, and Aldama's heads are hanged in the Lóndiga of Granaditas, where they died horribly.
Jose Maria Morelos comes in and takes of the independent army. This guy is the one who wrote the Sentimientos of the Nación back in 1913 in Chilpancingo, in which he expresses the laws and kind of a constitution. And this is what started the basis for the new constitution of Apatzingan.
This document is one of the most important documents in Mexico's history, and its ideas are based on the American and French revolutions. Just a year after Apatzingan Constitution was published by the Congress of the region, and this refers to the guy we mentioned before.
Now here comes the interesting stuff. Morelos was killed just after a period of publishing the Apatzingan Constitution. So that's messed up, really. But we have to admit it, he was a great man, and in his honor, the state of Morelos and the city of Morelia were named after him. Now that's really awesome. So, moving on. So after a tragic death of Morelos, some guys were still brave enough to continue the mess that Hidalgo and Morelos had started. These guys, by names Mina, Mier, Terran, Guerrero, and Torres, these honorable gentlemen were the guys who fought for the independence and continued the mess that Hidalgo and Morelos had started.
Years after Juan O'Donoghue signs the Tratado of Córdoba with Iturbide and Guerrero in 1821. Then, in that same year, the Ejército Trigarante triumphed in the war, and surprise! The country became independent and Mexico was born. Now, independence wasn't the final goal of the insurgent movement. It was actually the self-government and the major responsibilities and compromises this one implied. But the lack of experience caused the first years to be pretty hard to Mexico. While some people preferred monarchy, others preferred republic. When the Trigarante army entered Mexico City, the most strong character was Agustín de Iturbide, who took the responsibility of this new country with the backup of O'Donoghue. From 1822 to 1823, Iturbide was the Mexican emperor. He was the general of the Ejército Trigarante for the Mexican independence. Actually, Iturbide was removed from his charge as an emperor because of the Plan de Casamata in 1823, proclaimed by Antonio López de Santa Anna, which basically consisted on getting rid of Iturbide, so that Santa Anna could take charge of the country. What a shame, right? A year after Iturbide was removed from his title as an emperor, Santa Anna signed the constitution established by the Congress, and in that same time, Spain tried to take over Mexico again. But yeah, they failed, so ¡Viva México, pariente! ¡Fierro, fierro, fierro! Years after Santa Anna has his first presidency in 1833, who actually would become a dictator because this guy only wanted power. Actually, while this guy was in the power, Texas separated from Mexico, and not only that, but because of that Mexican-American War, in the period from 1846 to 1848, Mexico lost a great part of its territory: California, Nevada, Utah, and I don't have to highlight Texas, right? Oh yeah, that happened. In 1854, the Plan de Ayutla was signed, which consisted in taking Santa Anna out of the power and his dictatorship. Even in that time, Santa Anna was hated by Mexicans because of the territory Mexico lost during the Mexican-American War. 3 years later, in 1857, the legislative reforms were proclaimed by Juarez. They basically wanted to separate the church from the government. In this same year, Flores published the 1857 Constitution.
So, in the period from 1857 to 1861, the Guerra of Reforma happened. The causes of this war was basically that the church became centralist and didn't want the reform laws. So, yeah, that's basically what happened.
Finally, the period from 1876 to 1911 is the period that we know better as the Porfiriato. This was the greatest dictatorship in our country. Diaz brought a lot of economic improvements to Mexico. One example is the railroad and banks. But he abolished democracy. As I said, it was a dictatorship. Do you understand that? Well, that was it for this episode of Crash Course Mexico. See you on the next one, guys.